You are live from Ken's living room.
Here comes tomorrow, quicker than lightning. Comes tomorrow, moving faster than we dream. So many people, cities and nations, rushing together across the rivers and the streams. Can we learn to build the bridges that will bring us all together? Can we learn to scale the mountains and at last meet face to face? Can we cast a brave new vision as we face a frightening future? So when the sun comes up tomorrow, we will hardly recognize the place. A place where there's room at the table for everyone. It's the only way we're gonna make tomorrow all that it can be. And though vision leads to sacrifice, I know it will be worth the price to see those bridges reach across the rivers and the seas. See those bridges reach from me to you and you to me. Who would have thought it? Working together. Once we were strangers, now I'm making friends with you. I'll lend my passion, you lend your wisdom. We'll learn to listen, and we will both learn something new. Can we learn? Can we talk across the chasms that have kept us separated? Can we learn to spread our bright new wings and sail the morning sky? Can we cast a brave new vision as we face a frightening future? So when the sun comes up tomorrow, we will see this world with friendly eyes. A world where there's a room at the table for everyone. It's the only way to make tomorrow all that it can be. And though vision leads to sacrifice, I know it will be worth the price to see those bridges reach from across the rivers and the sea. See those bridges reach from me to you and you to me. Sometimes I wake up and I'm crying. All I want to do is go back to sleep. The sound of the earth is a groan and it sounds like dying. All I can do is stand on the edge and weep. The city is rank and the wolves are hungry. Chaos is barely kept at bay. What makes us think we can do tomorrow? Especially after the mess that we made of today. Some people want to jump over the wall. Some people want to escape from it all. Dressed in the fabric of yesterday's dreams, building their houses by yesterday's schemes. Yesterday's gone and it will not return. The flag's in the fire and beginning to burn. Come lift me up and with smoke in our eyes, we'll look toward the sunlight that calls us to rise. Ride up and sing though you tremble with fear. Rise up and sing till the whole world will hear. There is room at the table for everyone. Only way to make tomorrow all that it can be. And though vision leads to sacrifice, I know it will be worth the price to see those bridges reach across the rivers and the seas. See those bridges reach from me to you and you to me. And we leave the chord unresolved, like a question, because this is an hour for asking questions. Welcome to this, whatever we call it, concert, conversation, whatever. Welcome, everybody. So good to be together. It's going to be an exciting afternoon. My guest today is not only a lecturer and writer and thinker and hero of the faith, but my guest is also a friend. And Jane and I have been sitting here throughout the last couple of days working on questions to ask him. But first, a couple of songs. This actually, it's amazing. All of these songs were written several years ago, and it's amazing how relevant they are now. This one is called Color Outside the Lines. Standing on the edge of tomorrow, don't know the rules of the game, can't avoid the pain and the sorrow, and we wish we had somebody to blame. Standing on the edge of a new day, somebody took away the signs, praying for the power and courage to risk crossing over the line. Anybody wanna try kiss the easy road goodbye and walk on a narrow highway, run down a road less traveled, step on the foaming waves and leave your boats behind. Run where the brave dare not go, learn what the wise dare not know. Take up your cross in hand now, color outside the line. Color outside the line. Color outside the line. Color outside, color. Standing where the river is flooded, still the skies are bursting with rain. Garden we planted is gone now, never see that garden again. Standing where the current is raging, we think we can't take any more. Praying for the power and courage to swim until we get to the shore. Anybody wanna try kiss the easy road goodbye and walk on a narrow highway, run down a road less traveled, Step on the foaming waves and leave your boats behind you. Run where the brave dare not go. Learn what the wise dare not know. Take up your cross in hand now. Color outside the line. Color outside the line. Color outside the line. Color outside, color, and we're standing on the edge of confusion. Don't know the shape of the dream. House we built like a fortress, it's coming apart at the seams. Standing on the edge of disaster, praying for a light on the way. Praying for the power and courage to run till we run to the day. Anybody wanna try, kiss the easy road goodbye and walk on a narrow highway. Run down the road less traveled. Step on the foaming waves and leave your boats behind. Run where the brave dare not go. Learn what the wise dare not know. Follow the cross before you. Take up the cross in hand now. Color outside the line. Once more, we leave the chord unresolved, because this is a day for asking questions. This is a day to come in touch with doubt, with perplexity, maybe with anxiety. What happens when the fortresses that we build, the fortresses of faith and the fortresses of culture, begin to come crashing down? And we get this funny little premonition that something is quite wrong. I was thinking about this the other day. I had kind of a half dream about my childhood, and I came back to my home in Grand Rapids, on the west side of Grand Rapids, in a typical kind of working class neighborhood with little kind of row houses. And in my dream, all the girls were, very kind of typically traditionally feminine, wearing dresses and hosiery. All the guys were kind of like, sort of macho and tall and wearing suits. I thought, my word, Ken, what a retreat to the past. I woke up and I realized all those images are so far away from what I intellectually believe to be true. But the fact that old culture haunts me in my dreams kind of scares me a little. And then I thought about church. I thought about that church on the corner, big old Dutch Reformed church, where I went for years. And the questions I started asking in high school about that church and about its legalism, about its refusal to deal with questions, the questions I started asking are still the same questions I ask even now that I am a member of an open and affirming, really progressive, exciting UCC church. I still ask those questions from week to week. And those questions are summed up in this song. It's called, What Am I Doing Here? What am I doing here? What did I come here for? What am I doing here if to do nothing more than keep the status quo? What am I doing here? How do I read my course? What am I doing here? Frightened to rearrange the me I've come to know. And if I came to play social games, I can easily reach my goal. The hunger inside won't be satisfied by munching the social roll. And if I want to eat the bread of life, the taste may cause me pain. And I may decide it's easier to go on pablum once again. So what am I doing here? Why do I stay? What am I doing here? How will I chart my course? What am I doing here? Do I intend to force the truth of sight away? How will I read my face? The mirror's in front of me. How will I read my face? And do I intend to see things in the light of day? If I came to merely sign my name on a check that pays my dues, once the check is in the plate, I've got nothing more to lose. But if I want to pay the cost of walking in the way, I may reach the sad conclusion that it's just too much to pay. What am I doing here? Why do I stay? That's the question. So let me tell you about my friend. Brian McLaren is a name that many of you will know. Brian is not only a well-known and well-loved and well-sought-after conference speaker, preacher of truth and liberation, author of many books, only a few of which are A New Kind of Christian, The Great Spiritual Migration, Theology in the Wild, and the most recent one, Faith After Doubt. Brian has background as a pastor. He now works with many interfaith folks in terms of building collaboration and coalitions all over the place. And there are some secrets about Brian that I'm going to tell you that you might not know, because you may know him as all these things: conference speaker and writer and pastor and teacher and theologian and thinker. But there's another secret that some of you may not know. We'll find out. But right now, let me introduce the one, the only, the inimitable, the inimitable, the inimitable, the incorrigible, the incredible Brian McLaren. Hello, Brian.
Oh, my goodness. I'm so happy to be with you, my friend. I can't believe it. I love those songs. What a great way to start. Oh, my goodness. What a pleasure to be here.
Well, I wanted to start with the questions, and today is a day for asking questions. So tell me a little bit, a couple of things, and then I'm going to ask you to. I'm going to tell the big secret. But what are you doing these days now that you're not always on the road, lecturing here and there, and your travel schedule is actually probably worse than mine ever was. So what are you doing now? What's going on now?
I used to zoom around, and now I just zoom.
Zoom around.
But for this last year, I finished up a book that just came out last month, and then I've started the book that will come out next year. So I've been writing, and since the book came out in January, I've been doing kind of a virtual book tour, kind of like you, with this beautiful thing you're doing right now. I found out that if I just put on the internet that if you get 10 people together who've read this new book, Faith After Doubt, and you invite me, I'll show up. And it has been so much fun. Oh my goodness, it's been great. Yeah.
So Jane and I have been talking about the book and about all the stages of faith and whatever. If you were going to put what the book is all about in just a couple of sentences, what would you say to somebody who hasn't read it and is curious? What would you say about it if you could? I don't know a thing about you. I don't know a thing about the book.
Yeah, well, the first thing I'd say is that I think all people of religious faith have doubts. The only issue is many of us are afraid to admit it. We live in settings or churches or fellowships where we're afraid to admit it. And I've come to believe that doubt is not the enemy of faith, but pretending you don't have doubts is an enemy of faith. And what it does is it creates this conspiracy of secrecy, and that leads to pretense, and we lose authenticity. And so what I'm really trying to do in the book is say, you know what, maybe our doubts are inviting us to a deeper faith if we would just stop hiding them.
Some of our audience will remember that a few months ago, Wes Granberg Michelson was on this show, and he talked about pilgrimage. And he talked about this whole journey and talked about the places of doubt and uncertainty. And he talked about that whole superstructure of belief systems that we set up so very carefully. And what happens when those belief systems come crashing down?
Yes.
Crashing down. Now, you talk about, I want to talk about this real briefly. You talk about 4 stages of faith. Tell us quickly, if you can, in a couple of sentences, what are those stages?
Sure. Really easy to remember. Simplicity, complexity, perplexity, and harmony. Simplicity is, maybe we could say, faith before doubt. Complexity is faith managing doubt. Perplexity is faith in doubt. And harmony is faith and doubt in creative tension.
Okay, people, you need to check this out because I know some of you, I know what you're thinking, because we've talked about these things before. What you're thinking is, wow, I'm grooving on this. I'm digging this. I want that book. So Faith After Doubt is the book. Now, here's where the fun begins. I have a killer question, but I'm going to save that for a few minutes. Brian, the big secret that some people don't know is Brian McLaren is a singer-songwriter. And I discovered this a few years ago when we had a gathering of a little music group called the Convergence Music Project, which, by the way, is a group of, we had Brian Sergio on this program recently. It's a group of people writing new songs for the progressive Christian community. And Brian, you sang a couple of songs on that show, and you promised me that you would sing for us. So I have no idea what you're going to sing. So would you favor us?
I'm very happy to. And I need to tell you, Ken, I don't think I have ever sung in public since that event, however many years ago it was.
Oh my goodness.
So I wouldn't do this for anybody, but I'd be happy to do it for you. I'm just going to sing first a simple little song that really came out of something that's happened this year. I'm at that point in life, I'm getting old enough where a lot of my mentors have passed away. And in the last year, 4 of the biggest mentors in my life all passed away. And I started a song years ago and never finished it. And I finished it recently. So very simple little song goes like this.
Cool.
You came at a time when I needed you most, when I almost let all my most special dreams die. I had seen hollow men behind their facades, deceiving the crowds to treat them like gods. I was losing my hope, I was losing my faith, I was losing my grip on how good life can be. Then you came along with your smile and song, and the spark in you lit up the dark place in me. Now I see there are heroes in this world after all, unsung heroes we meet every day. Now I see there are heroes in this world after all, whose way of life shows us the way. I have seen when you're tired, I have seen you confused, I have seen you discouraged with pain on your face. And you've made mistakes, I've seen how you choose to get up and go on with courage and grace. Now I see there are heroes in this world after all, unsung heroes we meet every day. Now I see there are heroes in this world after all, whose way of life shows us the way. It's people like you who have taught me to see there's a person like you I can be, being me. And it's not just a wish, it really is true. There's a hero inside us all who can shine through. Now I see there are heroes in this world after all, unsung heroes we meet every day. Now I see there are heroes in this world after all, whose way of life shows us the way, whose way of life shows us the way.
And some of those heroes have public faces. Some of those heroes will never be known. Some of those heroes are heroes for one of us. Some of those heroes do all of their hero work alone. Some of those heroes will march in the streets. And some of those heroes live in nursing homes. And some of those heroes are a mom with her kids. And some of those heroes are somebody old whose legs are all broken, who simply can't walk, but she'll rise up anyway, get in that wheelchair and move down the aisle and do the work that is hers to do alone. And some of those heroes are only 16. Their school got shut up by a killer man, and they've linked up together to change their whole world. that only teenagers can. Some of those heroes are a guy who was a pastor in an evangelical church years ago. And everything's changed, now he's taking some risks. Writing and speaking of all that he's coming to know. We should take this act on the road.
Oh my goodness. Hey, Ken, I hope I can just tell you, I think you remember this. I think I've told you this, but I first heard you in 1988 at some big conference in DC. And
oh yeah.
You sang a song that had such a deep effect. I was in tears as you improvised the song that night. And I mean, to think that we've become friends through the years and that we're together right now. It's too good to be true. Just amazing. Yeah.
It is good. Another song you got.
Well, I'll share a song. This is,
I love this.
This is another very, very simple song. I actually wrote this so it could be sung in groups. It's based on a couple quotes from Dorothy Day. Dear Dorothy Day.
Have you got it on CMP yet?
I think it's either up or in process. That's right.
Okay.
So it's a very simple song, and it would sound a lot better if it was on the piano, but I'll just do it on the guitar. We lay one brick at a time. We take one step at a time. A revolution of the heart, building a new world, one brick at a time. We throw our stone in the pond. Its rings spread far beyond, till all God's creatures are circled in, building a new world, one brick at a time. The old world falls apart to make way for the new. Don't be afraid and don't lose heart. Love is breaking through. We mix our dreams and our tears to make the mortar strong, binding together earth, sky, and song, building a new world, one brick at a time. We hear the cries of the earth. We feel the pain of the poor. We challenge those systems of greed and war, building a new world, one brick at a time. The old world falls apart to make way for the new. Don't be afraid and don't lose heart. Love is breaking through. What we do might seem small, and we may never know the smallest things when done with love multiply and grow. So we lay one brick at a time. We take one step at a time, a revolution of the heart, building a new world, one brick at a time.
And some of us know how to make the bricks, and some of us know how to carry the bricks, and some of us know how to lay the bricks, and some of us can think up better ways of making bricks. And some of us can look at the way the bricks are laid and find a better way of putting them down. And some of us know how to take things apart, to take apart the old, to leave some room for the new. Some have the gifts of construction, some have the gifts of disruption, some have the gifts of building up, and some have the gifts of tearing down. So whatever your gift may be, making bricks or laying bricks or tearing down the old, let your gift be used in this effort to build a brand new world, one brick at a time.
Oh, that's great.
Oh. Hey, Jane and I have been working for the last 2 days trying to figure out what the killer question is. And I think we got it. We have said so often that the ideal for us, the Christian faith has to be all or nothing. It isn't a little dabble here, a little dabble there. And so often in church, what we see is what Ched Myers calls the enhancement model. I'm getting a little better day after day. I'm getting a little better. I'm learning a little bit more about Jesus. I'm learning, a few things. But at its root, it's either take up your cross and follow me or don't. It's got to be all or nothing. And somehow we keep looking for the all or nothing. So imagine now that you're on your deathbed and you have only a few minutes to speak what absolutely matters. Bottom line, this you cannot live without. You don't have time to be nice. You don't have time to ingratiate yourself to audience. You don't have time to say, oh, it's lovely to be here, and tell a couple jokes. You don't have time to, sort of have the right facial expressions and make sure that the back row is plugged in. You only have time to say what is absolutely crucial, important. What's that going to be for Brian McLaren?
Okay, here goes. Love one another. Love your enemies. Love the people who annoy you and confuse you. Love those who ignore you because they don't know what they're missing. Love people without discrimination. Love them not because of who they are, but because of who you want to be, a loving person. And love yourself while you're at it. Imagine how you wish that others would love you and do the same for yourself. You really are wonderful, even though you're a mess like the rest of us. So love yourself and love the earth. We humans aren't separate from the earth. We're just organized soil and air and water, courtesy of, I guess, solar energy and photosynthesis. So love your fellow animals and love the plants and love the earth. And when you love all these things, love the love itself that flows into and through us all. And while you have these few minutes here on this earth, don't waste them with anything less than love.
Love got to have legs. How does love have legs for you?
How does love have legs for me?
What do you do? How does it turn to action?
Well, I think for most of my adult life, it's kind of been the question I ask each day: what's mine to do today? And opportunities come, and you say, how can I take advantage of them? I think about just a week ago, I live in a town nearby. A young man, a Mexican immigrant, was killed by police a few months ago. And so his family and some friends decided, let's have a vigil for him. He's not one who a lot of people have heard of. And so they contacted me and said, hey, would you come? We need some folks from outside to come. And so what it meant that day is showing up and being part of a vigil for a man who was shot by police. And yeah, so it just means something different every day, I think.
Yeah. And what are the risks?
Well, I suppose there are risks, but gosh, the biggest risk, it seems to me, is wasting our time with anything less than trying to live by love.
Yeah.
I just can't think of any risk we would go through in the quest to live a life of love that's anything compared to the risk of not doing that.
Can you get in trouble for loving?
Well, a whole lot of us have found out you can. One of the best ways to get in trouble is to love the people your group hates, or love the people your group defines itself by rejecting. That's a great way to get in trouble. Yeah.
Okay, Brian. I can't tell you what a pleasure it has been. I want people to know that you are self-effacing and you are mild and gentle, but you're a person who has taken risks. You're a person who has dared to say things that are not going to resonate with a whole lot of people. You dare to say things. You came in front of a wild goose audience a couple of years ago, and there were 4,000 people there, and you said to pastors, and there were a bunch of pastors there, you said, if you're a pastor and if you are not protesting or resisting empire, and if you are not connecting with people of color, you're not doing your job. And you said that so clearly. And I know there were some people in that audience who, wait a minute, Brian, wait a second, I don't want to lose my job. But you dared, you said it, and you've been saying those things all along the way. And I want us to thank you for the things you have said, for the things you have written. I want to thank you for the songs. I want to thank you for just being a part of this this show today. And I want to say to you, let's be together again.
That's right. Amen. Thanks for having me. What a joy.
Take care. There are lots of ways in which we are bound, in which our churches are bound. And one of the ways is that we are bound to possession and money. Churches have $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million endowments, and they're going to save those endowments for a rainy day, for someday when all around them the city is dying, and all around them people are hurting, and all around them there is anguish. And here we are sitting on $3, $4, $5 million in a beautiful building, and wondering, well, let's save it for a rainy day, and let's hope the rainy day comes 50, 60 years from now. Well, it's a rainy day now, isn't it? And this song is called By the Waters of Luxury. By the waters of Babylon, we sat down and wept for the remembered thee, remembered thee, remembered thee, Zion. By the waters of luxury, we sat and tried to sing again. Hung our harps on the traffic signs, for the music would not come. In our capital captivity, heated and cooled by central air, in an alien land that we made for ourselves, we tried to remember home. We tried to remember home. Did we really forget so soon? We were strangers in an alien land, sent as insurgents by the Prince of Peace to work for kingdom come. Were we seduced by those clever lies and taught to play in the oppressor's band? Did the wrangling and the jangling drown the sound of the songs of home? Come, you rich, now come and play with a hallelujah, amen. Bellies full, now come and pray with a hallelujah, amen. Bow before the cross of gold with a hallelujah, amen. Wealth is ours to have and hold with a hallelujah, amen. Jesus loves me, this I know, with a hallelujah, amen. Now my bank book tells me so, with a hallelujah, amen. This faith begets prosperity, with a hallelujah, amen. And a little bit left for charity, with a hallelujah, amen. By the waters of luxury, we sat and tried to sing again. Hung our harps on the traffic signs, because the music would not come. Oh, in our capital captivity, heated and cooled by central air, in an alien land that we made for ourselves, we all but forgot our home. We all but forgot our home. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where you ought to be. And when you find yourself in the place just right, will be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we will not be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning, we turn round. Got one more song. Actually, let's see. Can we get two more songs in there? I think maybe, well, let's do the one more and then we'll see. This song is a few years old, but I think it may be expressing what Brian has been trying to say to us about love and about the shape that love takes, the legs that love walks on. This is called The Greatest Love of All. If I swim the flooded river to protect you from the storm, this is love. If I brave the winds of winter to be sure you're safe and warm, this is love. If I stumble in the darkness when I hear your urgent call, this is love. But if I give my life to save you, this is the greatest love of all. If I walk 1,000 highways just to be here by your side, this is love. If I give up my possessions, if for love I lose my pride, this is love. If I lose my reputation, lose my name, my face, my all, this is love. But if I give my life to save you, this is the greatest love of all. When I was a kid, love was a feeling. But this is only just a start, 'cause feelings change as fast as weather, and love's a matter of the mind and will, a matter of the head and heart. If I walk through wind and fire to bring you back when you are lost, this is love. If you cost me my possessions, and if I gladly bear the cost, this is love. If I face the soldier's weapons, and if I climb a prison wall, this is love. But if I give my life to save you, this is the greatest love of all. This is the greatest love of all. The greatest love of all. The greatest love of all. This is the greatest love of all. A few announcements to make, and before we bring thing to a close. Next week is our 1-year anniversary of doing these concerts. And we're inviting a few people to join us in the studio.
I want to make it kind of like a party, like a small group party. I can't offer you coffee or tea, a glass of wine, or a soda, or brownies. But if you want to bring your own refreshments to the party, please feel free to do so. I'd love to have stories from folks about what the last year has meant to you. Where have you been in your head and in your heart? And where are you now? And how are you going to be different when things start to change? And we can see maybe some light at the end of the tunnel, huh? So what will things be like? How will things change for you? What do you think? What are you thinking about? Some of those stories would be really much appreciated. We have a few and we're dying for some more. The week after that, we're going to have a very challenging, but I think a very beautiful program. I have a dear friend who has for years coped with addiction. And my friend has told the story of that life and of the coming out of that place, of the healing, of the life change that took place, of the people who helped in that healing. And my friend obviously needs to remain anonymous. So the voice, we have only audio, and the voice will be altered. So we'll talk about that in 2 weeks. And then there's some really fun shows coming up on the horizon. I'll tell you about those as we go on next week. But next week, I'm thinking about our year-long anniversary, and I really would love to have some stories and stuff from many of you. Now, if you want to contribute to this work, interluderetreats.org. Interlude, as you know, brings conferences for musicians together. We've had, for the last 11 years now, we've had conferences for church musicians. The ones this past summer were virtual. We had, I don't know, maybe 100 folks all together in these conferences this past summer. And these are church musicians who are overworked and underpaid, for whom Sunday comes every 2 days or sometimes every 2 hours. And they need a chance to peel away and to be with peers and to learn and to grow. We bring my music to small churches. And as we begin to think about the possibility of going live again in person, there will be some small churches, some tiny churches that have no money at all. And they'll want a music program, and I'll be able to go there and say, we'll just come. Just provide me a place to stay and we'll come, and don't worry about the honorarium. So if you want to, and Interlude is sponsoring all these concerts for this whole year that we've been on the road. A shout out to a few Interlude partners. Thanks my special San Antonio friend. Thanks my Ashtabula, Ohio / South Carolina friends. Thanks lots of Ohio friends. Thanks friends from Michigan, from California. Thanks my Orange County friends. Thanks friends from all over the country who have been so generous. Thanks my Scottsdale, Arizona friends. Just so generous people have been, and I'm so grateful. So, one more song. This is you'll probably recognize the music. I've set one of the hymns that I wrote several years ago. It's called The Gathering, and it goes like this. Out of need and out of custom, we have gathered here again. To the gathering we are bringing love and laughter, grief and pain. Come we now our questions voicing, some believing, some rejoicing, some afraid and some in doubt. We will search these
we our masks displaying, fearing that we might be known. Foolish games forever playing, feeling meanwhile so alone. Let pretension's power be broken. Let the truth in love be spoken. To be human, let us dare, as we now the journey share.
Good night, Sonia. I hope we see you next week. Sorry you have poison oak. Take care of yourself. Good night, Charlotte. Take care of yourself. You got some heavy stuff on your plate today. Good night, Henry. Hope you're doing well in school. Love you much. Good night, Aaron. Good night, all. Be safe. Stay well. Thanks, Jane. Thanks, Bev. Thanks, Brian. Good night.